You heard the horror stories about real estate investment gone wrong, but what are the actual mistakes that lead to this disaster?
Flips are a pain in the butt because you're basically in the business of renovating properties and reselling them, finding another one, renovating it and reselling it. If you want to do that as your business, that's okay. But it's time consuming. You know, you're running subs, you're running paint colors, picking faucets. It's like building a dadgum house.
Well, in this video, I'll tell you the top 5 pitfalls to avoid in these. Now, welcome to the real estate jungle. And
real estate is an awful way for you to actually make money. You can go buy a single family home for $400,000, the average price in the US, and then you rent it out to somebody. Well, the average rent nets you profit wise about $167 a month. So
this is the thing you're going to have to understand. Have you ever dreamed of building a real estate empire? We all seen the success stories, but the truth is many investors fall prey to the common mistake. Now, I'm been doing real estate investing for a while. I own 5 properties at one time, and I really love doing real estate. Now, I've been around a while. I have over a decade of investing in real estate. So here's why I want to help you navigate your real estate investment so you can have success and avoid some of these mistakes. I've done everything from flipping houses, from rental to Airbnb, and some went good, some went bad, and what I learned from it, so you can take these advice and get some success in it. So the top 5 mistakes to avoid is not doing your research.
For the past few years, there hasn't been a lot of opportunity in real estate. It's pretty much just flat.
Failing to conduct the market research is a receipt for disaster. Before making any investment, understand the local market, current trend, and potential risk. You know, that is what you need to understand. Overpaying. Everyone wants to steal, but overpaying is the most common mistake. Learn to calculate the fair market value and consider renovation costs, and don't get swept into emotion for some of these decisions. And underestimating expenses, from property taxes to insurance and maintenance expenses, add up quickly. Do not underestimate the hidden costs associated with owning rental properties. And that's some of the things you need to understand. Now, I could go into not doing your research more. I can go into overpaying for a property, and I can go into underestimating the expenses. But let's go into detail later in the video, and so you understand. First thing you need to understand is financing. Ignoring your credit score. Credit score is a gateway to your finance. Improve your score before even thinking about applying to loans.
First off, you can see we've got this part right here. We've got 760 and 740 on the credit score. So both of those, for this particular scenario, it's 6.375 with points of 0.8. Now, for conventional loans, every 20 points as you drop below that, there is typically a difference in the rate, all right? And sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean the difference.
Learn the basic of credit reporting and how to maximize your score. The lower your credit score is, the higher interest rate you're going to pay. The riskier you are, the higher interest rate you're going to pay. And not shopping around for lenders. Don't settle for the first lender. Find and compare interest rate, fees, loan conditions, everything. And the other thing you need to understand is following these people on YouTube. Some of them are in an over-leveraged situation, and taking on too much debt is a major risk. Calculate your debt to income ratio and prioritize safe and sustainable investment. So that's where you go into with understanding the finances. This is where people make mistakes. Whenever you purchase a property, that's where you make all your money. So if you're paying all cash, do not pay the market value. That is a wrong way to use cash on buying a house. If you're borrowing money, hey, negotiate, try to get things below market value. If you do not get it below market value, it's not worth it because it's at a risk for you. Now, if you're going to live in it for a few years, then move out. It's a different story. But I always tell you, do not buy a property at the market value. Always buy it below market value so you can get a decent cushion, because it's a risky investment. You don't know how long it's going to take for someone to get in there. And remember when I said people overpay? Yes, people overpay for houses all the time and regret it later. People do not understand how much research it takes to go into buying a property. You can research the property, make sure you understand, hey, what is the understanding of finance you need in this research? How much does the property rent for? Do you have to cover the utilities? Do you have to pay for XYZ? You need to do your due diligence and understand what is the financing. And that's where you do your research and your due diligence, and do not overpay because it makes no sense. Managing your property. Now, not screening your tenant. Fail to adequate screening your tenant can lead to costly headaches, issues, implication. So you need to make sure you screen them. Do a background check. Rental history review. You need to do these things. Managing your property. Even if it costs you money, you need to do these things so that it does not cost you in the long run. And neglecting maintenance. Now, this is where you need to understand when you manage your property. You do not want to be a cheapskate and do what they call the rental renovation, where they paint over light switches, do half-ass repairs. No, take care of your property like you're going to do a proper flip that someone else wants to move into. Do it properly so you do not affect you in the long term. Be proactive. Now, this is where you do not want to underestimate the expenses on this. So when you manage your property, you buy this property. Now you have to manage it for a renovation, right? You need to budget properly. Do not go over, or try not to if you can help it. Make changes to your plans. If you go over in one area, try to go cheaper in another area. It happens. Nothing works out perfectly as planned, and this is where you need to have a cushion room and understand how much things really cost. Now, ignoring legal and insurance requirement is one of those things when you manage your property. There's videos of people say, I don't have insurance on my rental property. So you own a rental property that's 250 something thousand, and you don't have rental insurance on there if something happens, because your tenant might not have renter insurance and it might not cover your expenses. So if someone burns down your house by accident, if something happens to the house, you do not get covered. And I seen a video like that. That's ignorant, in my opinion, because I wouldn't put $250,000 on fire. And that's pretty much, if someone set your house on fire, that's $250,000 that it could be burning. You don't know. So make sure you get all the legal and insurance requirement to cover yourself, because that is very important. Now, investing for the long term. And this is where you have to understand investing. The lack of patience in real estate investing is where you fall short. Real estate investing are a long-term game, and be prepared for market fluctuation. Don't expect instant return. Chasing that quick profit. Don't be lured by the promise of a quick rich. Don't let other people do things for you. Focus on building a solid portfolio with a property that offer sustainable cash flow and long-term appreciation. Understand this. And giving up too soon. The path to success isn't always smooth. Don't let the setback discourage you, and stay informed. Lead the mistake by adapt to strategies. Now, in conclusion, I'm imploring you to explore these 5 mistakes and avoid them. Cover research, financing, property management, and long-term strategy. So, we explore the top 5 mistakes to avoid in real estate, covering your research, financing, property management, and long-term strategies, and call to action. Remember that real estate investing is careful planning, due diligence, and long-term perspective, and avoid these common pitfalls. You can increase your chance of success if you follow these rules or avoid these mistakes. Now, thanks for watching my videos. Remember to like, subscribe to my video if you want to know more about real estate, insights, and tips. Be back as soon as I can with more content.